Stop for a moment. Think about the fruit you enjoy the most. Do you picture it fresh, juicy, perfect? Now listen closely. What no one tells you is that invisible toxins are hidden behind those natural delights, secrets that might surprise you, or even frighten you. Today, you'll discover 15 fruits that seem harmless, but conceal compounds capable of affecting your body in ways you never imagined. Stick around, because after this video, you'll never look at an apple, a papaya, or a mango the same way again. Number 1. Apple. The apple, a universal symbol of health and temptation, holds a dark secret that very few know. At first glance, it seems like the most innocent fruit in the world. Red, bright, refreshing. Since childhood, we're taught that an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But what they never tell us is that inside it, right in those tiny seeds we usually ignore, hides a substance capable of turning into a deadly poison. Those seeds contain a compound called amygdalin. It doesn't seem dangerous at first, but upon contact with our body's enzymes, it can break down and release cyanide, one of the most lethal poisons in existence. Now, don't panic. For a person to suffer severe poisoning, they would have to chew and consume a large quantity of seeds. However, the simple fact of knowing that this everyday fruit conceals such a secret already changes the way we see it. Imagine, the same fruit that appears in fairy tales, Renaissance paintings, and even public health campaigns holds a reminder in its center that nature plays with subtle balances between the nutritious and the harmful. An apple can be energy, fiber, antioxidants, or in excess and under certain conditions, a source of invisible toxins. The most curious thing is that, despite this risk, the seeds aren't there by accident. The plant developed them as a defense mechanism, a way to protect its own offspring from predators. And here appears the paradox. What may be poisonous for humans is simply a survival strategy for the tree. The next time you bite into an apple, remember this secret. What seems so safe, so routine, can have a hidden side you never imagined. 2. Pear. The pear, soft, delicate, and juicy, is one of the most beloved fruits worldwide. Its refreshing sweetness makes it the perfect choice to quench your thirst on a hot day. But behind that innocent appearance, this fruit also hides a secret that very few suspect. Just like its close cousin, the apple, the pear conceals a natural defense mechanism inside that can be toxic to us. Its seeds contain amygdalin, a compound that, when digested and metabolized, has the capacity to release small amounts of cyanide. Yes, that same poison we associate with spy stories, mysteries, and clandestine labs can be at the heart of the fruit we've eaten so many times without thinking. The good news is that the amount present in each seed is very low, and the human body can neutralize it easily if not consumed in excess. Nevertheless, the curious fact is undeniable. Even the tenderest, most reliable fruit can have a dark side. Pears have accompanied humanity since ancient times. In Greek mythology, they were considered a symbol of love and fertility, and in the Middle Ages, they were so valuable they were offered as gifts between kings. Few people from those eras imagined that those seeds, small and harmless at first glance, could contain traces of such a dangerous compound. This contrast between the sweet and the toxic reminds us that nature isn't naive. Every fruit, every seed responds to a survival strategy. The plant doesn't want its seeds chewed or destroyed. It prefers them to travel intact to germinate in new lands. And so, that slight trace of poison is, in reality, a warning. The next time you enjoy a pear, think about it. What seems like a soft and perfect gift from the tree also holds a lethal secret hidden deep in its heart. 3. Peach. The peach, also known as durazno or melocotón, is synonymous with freshness, softness, and sweetness. Its velvety skin and unmistakable aroma have made it one of the most desired fruits of the season. It's easy to associate it with the tenderness and abundance of summer. But what few people know is that beneath that golden, juicy pulp, a secret is hidden that sharply contrasts with its angelic image. At the center of the peach rests a large, hard pit or stone, which most people discard without thinking. Inside that pit hides a seed that, far from being harmless, contains compounds capable of releasing cyanide. This poison, one of the most lethal known to humanity, can be extremely harmful if crushed, chewed, or consumed in excess. The recommendation is clear: never break, never crush, never ingest those seeds. What's fascinating is how nature plays with these contradictions. The peach pulp is nutritious, rich in vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, beneficial for heart and skin health. However, its seed is designed to be a wall of defense. The tree ensures that its possibilities of reproduction are not threatened by predators. Thus, the poison in the seed is not a mistake. It's a natural survival strategy. Throughout history, the peach has been a symbol of prosperity and longevity in Eastern cultures and a sign of beauty and youth in the West. Paradoxically, that very fruit associated with eternal life holds a reminder of human fragility against poison in its core. The next time you enjoy the sweetness of a peach, remember this contrast. What seems like a fruit of pleasure and abundance also silently hides a forbidden nucleus, a natural warning hidden in the heart of its pit. 4. Cherry. The cherry, small, bright, and seductive, is one of the world's most irresistible fruits. Its intense red color and bittersweet flavor make it the star of desserts, drinks, and celebrations. No one can deny the appeal of this fruit, which, due to its delicate appearance, seems made for carefree enjoyment. But deep inside, right where we almost never look, the cherry holds a dangerous secret. Its pit, so hard and discreet, is not as innocent as it appears. Like other fruits in the same family, the cherry seed contains compounds that, when broken down, release cyanide inside the body. This lethal poison interferes with the body's ability to transport oxygen to cells, making it one of humanity's most feared toxins. Fortunately, for a person to suffer actual poisoning, it would be necessary to consume large quantities of these crushed pits. However, the fact that something so tiny hides such power remains astonishing. The curious thing is that this secret has been present throughout history. In antiquity, cherries were a symbol of desire and pleasure, but also of mystery. The Romans brought them to Europe from Asia, fascinated by their flavor and beauty. They never imagined that the small fruit adorning their banquets concealed such an extreme defense mechanism inside. The paradox is clear. The cherry pulp is rich in antioxidants, vitamins, and compounds that protect the heart, while its seed, if crushed, can become a threat. The same fruit that can nourish and heal can also warn with its toxicity. The next time you enjoy a cherry, don't forget this detail. That hard pit we usually spit out without thinking hides a reminder. Even the smallest and most attractive things can contain a dark power. 5. Apricot. The apricot, also known as Damasco, is one of those fruits that looks like it came out of a painting. Small, round, with a golden orange color that evokes the summer sun, it captivates with its light sweetness and delicate aroma. At first glance, no one would suspect that this gem of nature holds a secret much more intense than other fruits in its family. And that's because its seeds are even more concentrated in a toxic substance called amygdalin. Amygdalin, upon contact with the body's enzymes, can release cyanide, a poison capable of altering oxygen transport in the blood. This means that if someone consumes apricot seeds in large quantities, they can suffer serious intoxication, potentially leading to fatal consequences. The most surprising thing is that, in various cultures, these seeds have been used as traditional remedies or even as supposed alternative treatments for diseases, without full awareness of the risk they pose. In contrast, the apricot pulp is a true nutritional treasure, rich in beta-carotenes, antioxidants, and fiber, which help vision, skin, and the digestive system. A clear duality between the healthy and the dangerous, which makes this fruit a perfect example of nature's contrasts. What's fascinating is that the apricot tree did not design its seeds for our consumption, but for its own protection. The poison is its shield, its way of guaranteeing that its chances of reproduction are not ruined by predators that might crush its core. Thus, the toxicity is not an accident, but a biological plan. The next time you pick up an apricot, savor its sweetness calmly, but remember, a powerful secret rests deep in its pit, a warning that connects the beautiful with the lethal. 6. Loquat. The loquat, with its bright orange color and bittersweet flavor, is a fruit that evokes childhood memories in many parts of the world. Small, juicy, and refreshing, it seems like a harmless gift from nature. But behind that cheerful appearance and its delicious pulp, a secret is hidden that very few know. Its seeds contain toxic compounds that can directly affect the liver, one of the most vital organs in our body. Inside those seeds is a substance called cyanogenic glycosides, capable of releasing traces of cyanide when metabolized. While a single seed is unlikely to pose a serious risk, the problem arises when several are consumed, or when homemade extracts are prepared unknowingly. In these cases, the liver can suffer damage from the accumulation of toxins, compromising its essential cleansing and filtering functions. Paradoxically, the loquat pulp is quite the opposite: nutritious, hydrating, and beneficial. Rich in antioxidants, vitamins, and fiber, it has been used for centuries as a natural remedy for digestion and to strengthen the immune system. This duality between the good and the dangerous makes the loquat an especially curious fruit. In many Asian cultures, the loquat holds a special place in traditional medicine, but always with caution, avoiding its seeds. It is a reminder of how plants have designed invisible defense systems, protecting their offspring from those who might destroy it. What is poison for us is protection for the tree. So every time you enjoy a loquat, remember that its sweetness is accompanied by a natural warning. The fruit is meant to be savored, but its seeds should not be mistaken for food. A small detail that completely changes the way we see this charming fruit. 7. Grape. The grape, a symbol of abundance, festivity, and pleasure, is one of the most consumed fruits on the planet. Whether in fresh bunches, in juices, or turned into wine, its presence has marked cultures and civilizations for thousands of years. At first glance, it seems like the most reliable and safe fruit, so versatile that we find it on almost every table. However, even this familiar fruit hides a curious secret that not everyone knows. Although its pulp is completely safe and nutritious, its seeds and leaves contain compounds that, in excess, can become toxic. In particular, the seeds and leaves concentrate tannins, plant substances that provide antioxidant benefits in small doses, but which in high doses quantities can cause stomach upset, nausea, and, in the long term, affect the proper absorption of minerals in the body. It is a reminder that even what we believe is completely harmless can have a natural limit that should not be exceeded. The curious fact is that throughout history, grapes have been considered an almost divine food. In ancient Greece, they were associated with Dionysus, the god of wine and celebration. In Rome, with Bacchus, symbol of ecstasy and fertility. No one suspected that those tiny seeds, hidden within the pulp, could contain compounds that, in excess, are harmful. At the same time, the grape has been a source of hope in modern science. Its seeds contain powerful antioxidants, such as resveratrol, which in moderate doses help protect the heart and slow down cell aging. Once again, nature shows us its duality. What can heal in adequate amounts can be harmful in excess. So the next time you enjoy a bunch of grapes, think about it. What seems like a simple and perfect fruit also hides a secret: a delicate balance between the beneficial and the toxic. 8. Mango. The mango, called the king of fruits in many places, is synonymous with tropical sweetness, freshness, and vitality. With its juicy pulp and unmistakable aroma, it has become a symbol of summer, relaxation, and pleasure. But what few people know is that this popular fruit hides a disturbing secret in its inner workings, or rather, in its skin, and the tree that supports it. The mango peel and the sap that oozes from its branches contain urushiol, the same toxin found in dreaded poison ivy. Urushiol is a compound capable of causing severe allergic reactions on the skin. For some people, simple contact with mango sap or the outside of its peel is enough to develop rashes, redness, and even blisters. It is a surprising reminder that such a delicious fruit can share a chemical link with one of the most avoided plants in the natural world. The curious thing is that despite this risk, the mango has been revered by different cultures for centuries. In India, for example, it is considered a sacred fruit, a symbol of prosperity and love. In other tropical regions, it is an essential part of rituals and celebrations. No one would imagine that, behind so much recognition, an invisible enemy is hidden that can affect those who are sensitive to this compound. The paradox of the mango is fascinating. On the one hand, its pulp is a source of vitamins, antioxidants, and energy. On the other, its skin and sap are capable of causing unexpected allergic reactions. It is a clear example of how nature balances the generous with the dangerous. The next time you enjoy a mango, do so with confidence in its golden pulp. But remember that its peel and its tree hold a secret that connects the sweet with the poisonous. 9. Banana. The banana, one of the most consumed fruits on the planet, seems to be the very definition of harmless. Its creamy pulp, its convenience for taking anywhere, and its sweet taste have made it a universal food, present both on a child's table and in a professional athlete's diet. It is so routine that few people stop to think that it also has a hidden side. And, although its commercial version is completely safe, in some of its wild varieties, its seeds can contain toxic alkaloids. The bananas we find in modern supermarkets have been cultivated and modified for generations to be sweet, without large seeds, and easy to consume. But in their original form, wild bananas look very different. They are full of hard, large seeds. And in some species, those seeds concentrate chemical substances that nature designed as a defense against predators. Among them, certain alkaloids that, ingested in excess, can cause digestive discomfort and intoxication. It is fascinating to think that behind the world's most popular fruit lies a history of transformation. The banana we eat today is the result of thousands of years of human selection, which domesticated a plant that was originally rough and even dangerous. What we now associate with quick energy and abundant potassium was once a difficult fruit to consume with undesirable chemical secrets. In tropical cultures, the banana has been a symbol of fertility, prosperity, and sustenance. However, its wild lineage reminds us that even the safest foods were born from a nature that mixes the nutritious with the toxic, like a delicate balance between life and protection. The next time you enjoy a banana, think about this detail. What seems so simple and perfect today holds a wild past, where the seeds were hard and bitter, and where a touch of toxicity was part of its natural essence. 10. Coconut. The coconut, a symbol of paradisiacal beaches, refreshing drinks, and exotic desserts. At first glance, it seems harmless, a tropical gift from nature. Its water is sold as the perfect elixir to hydrate the body. And it's true. It contains electrolytes like sodium, magnesium, and especially potassium. But here's the detail that few people know. When consumed in excess, that same potassium can become a silent enemy. The condition is called hyperkalemia, and it means that the concentration of potassium in the blood rises to dangerous levels. The curious thing is that this imbalance is not noticed immediately. It can start with mild symptoms like weakness or dizziness, but progress to cause cardiac arrhythmias and even cardiac arrest. Thus, what seemed like a simple refreshing drink can alter the electrical engine that sustains life, the heart. What's most fascinating is that in tropical cultures, where coconut is abundant, its consumption is combined with an active, hot life, which helps the body utilize those minerals. But in modern societies, where people drink bottled coconut water as if it were a substitute for common water, the risk increases, especially in people with kidney problems, because their kidneys cannot eliminate the excess potassium. The paradox of the coconut is evident. A fruit that saves from dehydration in the jungle can become a poison in the city. The line between remedy and risk lies in the quantity. Therefore, although its sweet and light taste invites unrestricted drinking, the key is moderation. The coconut is a reminder that even the most natural things can hide a toxic secret. 11. Bitter orange. The bitter orange. Its name already anticipates that it's not like the others. Used for centuries in traditional medicine, And in the preparation of liqueurs like the famous curacao, this fruit contains a chemical secret that can be more disturbing than it seems. Inside it hides synephrine, a natural compound that acts as a stimulant. Its effect is similar to ephedrine, the substance banned in sports supplements due to the risks it entails. And here's the surprising part. Synephrine accelerates the heart rate, raises blood pressure, and, in high doses, can cause dangerous arrhythmias. The curious thing is that for years, bitter orange was promoted as a natural fat burner. Many diet supplements included it in capsules, taking advantage of its ability to activate metabolism. But the result was not always as expected. There were reports of people who, instead of losing weight, ended up with palpitations, dizziness, and even urgent hospital visits. In small quantities, such as in an aromatic tea, or in the zest used for baking, bitter orange poses no great threat. The problem arises when its extract is concentrated or consumed without control. The body receives a stimulus that is indistinguishable from a strong medication. The paradoxical aspect is that a fruit so present in European and Mediterranean culinary tradition, associated with homemade recipes and warm aromas, can become a hidden balm for the heart. One more reminder that natural doesn't always mean innocuous. Thus, bitter orange demonstrates that the line between food and toxic is measured in milligrams. A touch can add flavor. An excess can alter the very rhythm of life. 12. Lemon. The lemon. A symbol of freshness, cleanliness, and energy. A seemingly harmless citrus fruit, always present in the kitchen, in refreshing drinks, and even in home remedies. But behind its reputation as a healthy ally, it harbors a curious and little-known detail. Its seeds contain traces of cyanide. Yes, although the pulp and juice are completely safe and beneficial, the seeds hide a compound called amygdalin. When broken down in the body, it can release small amounts of cyanide. The dose is minimal, so low that it usually goes unnoticed and does not pose a risk in daily consumption. But the surprise lies in discovering that even in a fruit as common as the lemon, there is a hidden side. What's fascinating is how nature distributes its defenses. These toxic seeds are actually protection mechanisms. The plant produces them to prevent predators and animals from destroying them before they can germinate. In other words, the lemon tree ensures its survival with a poison that is as discreet as it is efficient. Now think about this. How many times, when preparing a lemonade, a piece of seed has slipped into your glass and nothing ever happened? That is the magic of proportions. The poison is there, but not in a dose that can affect you. As if nature wanted to remind us that the limit between the healthy and the toxic always depends on the quantity. The lemon remains that indispensable ally for vitamin C, for flavor, and for detoxification. But now you know that deep within its seed, it holds a chemical secret with a touch of danger. A perfect duality, freshness in the pulp, mystery in the heart. 13. Papaya. The papaya, sweet, tropical, associated with sunny beaches and healthy breakfasts. A fruit that many consider a digestive gift thanks to its star enzyme, papain. But what few people know is that inside it, among that orange, juicy pulp, are hidden seeds with a disturbing secret. These small dark pearls contain carpain, a natural alkaloid with a double edge. In small amounts, it can have beneficial effects. It has been studied for its antiparasitic properties and is even used in some traditional medicines. But when consumed in excess, carpain becomes a silent threat to the heart. It can alter cardiac function, slow the pulse, and, in extreme cases, be toxic. The most curious thing is that for a long time, papaya seeds have been promoted as an alternative superfood, recommending chewing them whole or ground as a natural supplement. And yes, they contain nutrients and healthy oils, but the risk appears when the boundary between the medicinal and the poisonous is crossed. The papaya clearly represents that natural paradox. A fruit that cleanses and regenerates the body, but which holds a substance in its core capable of altering one of the most vital organs. A fruit that nourishes, and at the same time warns that not everything inside is meant to be consumed. The contrast is so strong that it is even poetic. the softness of its pulp versus the hidden power of its seeds. One more reminder that natural is not always synonymous with innocuous, and that even the most tropical flavors can hide secrets worth knowing. The next time you enjoy a papaya, remember, the sweetness is in the pulp, but the mystery and the risk beat in its seeds. 14. Cashew, fruit of the cashew nut shell. The cashew, known by many only for its nuts, those enjoyed as a snack or in gourmet recipes. But behind its exotic appearance hides a truth that almost no one imagines. The cashew fruit hides extremely toxic compounds in its shell. These are anacardic acid and the dreaded urushiol, the same substance found in poison ivy that causes severe skin irritations. Simple contact is enough to trigger burns, blisters, and allergic reactions that can last for days. Ingested, the danger increases, becoming a serious health risk. What's surprising is how such a visually attractive fruit, with its bright color and peculiar shape, harbors such a threat beneath its surface. That is why the cashew nuts that reach our tables are never sold raw with the shell. They undergo a complex process of roasting and cleaning to eliminate any trace of toxins. It is a reminder that what seems natural and simple actually goes through an invisible safety filter before being consumed. And here is the curious fact. In some producing regions, such as India and Brazil, those who work in cashew extraction must wear special gloves and constant protection to prevent the toxic shell from causing burns on their hands. An occupation that combines tradition and risk, where each nut is literally torn away from the poison. The cashew shows us the other side of nature. What feeds and nourishes can be surrounded by what hurts and poisons. A fragile and fascinating balance that demonstrates that even the most delicious nuts are born wrapped in a toxic secret that few know. 15. Guava. The guava, fragrant, tropical, with that sweet aroma that floods markets and awakens childhood memories. Its pulp, full of vitamin C, is a true nutritional treasure. But inside this fruit, hidden among the juiciness, are seeds that hold a lesser-known secret. When consumed whole, guava seeds usually go unnoticed, traveling almost intact through the digestive system. The problem appears when they are ground or crushed. In that state, they release compounds that, in excess, can be harmful to the digestive system, irritating the intestinal walls and causing discomfort. The curious thing is that in many places, guava smoothies or juices are prepared where the seeds are ground with the pulp, giving a thick, characteristic texture. And although a small amount does not pose an immediate danger, the habitual and excessive consumption of crushed seeds can accumulate an undesirable effect on the body. The paradox of the guava is fascinating. While its pulp strengthens the immune system, aids digestion, and has become a symbol of tropical health, its seeds hide a reminder that every excess has consequences. Even the most natural things can become a challenge for the body if consumed in the wrong way. Thus, the guava teaches us an invisible balance. Enjoy it in its freshness, in jams, juices, or directly naturally. But do not forget that those seeds that seem harmless also have a hidden side. The border between the beneficial and the harmful is there, as fine as the glass of a cup holding its juice. Guava is flavor and vitality, but a mystery that few know beats in its seeds.